Continuing the question of what nusach, or how do you determine the nusach that you should daven. The Mishnah Berurah again, Siman Samachet, letter Gimel, says, those minhagim, those parts of the Torah that are essential, then you should never ever change your minhag. For example, you shouldn't change from Ashkenaz to Sefard, or lehefech, v'chol k'hai gavna. In other words, if you are a Ashkenaz, Nusach Ashkenaz davener, don't change to Sefard. If you're Nusach Sefard davener, don't change to Ashkenaz. And this, again, was modified in a series of tshuvas by Rav Moshe Feinstein. There's a difference between a person who davens Ashkenaz and happens by chance to be in a shul which davens Sfarad. He is different than a person who moved, who went on Aliyah from America or England to Israel, and he finds that in America he davened Ashkenaz, but the community that he lives in davens Sfarad. So there it's important to be able to join with the community, to be part of the community, and to daven as the community davens. So on the one hand, don't change. If you happen to be in another place, if you happen to be on the way to some place and you find that the shul is davening a different nusach, you stick your own nusach. But if you leave Chutz La'aretz to come to Eretz Yisrael, for example, and find that the people are davening in the nusach that you're not accustomed to daven, then you certainly might change. Then the Mishnah Berurah goes on and he says this. He says, after all, we all know that there were 12 gates in heaven which were a parallel to the 12 tribes that left Mitzrayim. And every tribe had a gate, and that gate was the gate of his prayer. And he had a minhag which differentiated him, that tribe, from all of the others. And therefore, there is no preference for one minhag over the other minhag. The only question is about changing. And the Mishnah Berurah says, this is the halacha. Ashkenazim who daven with Sfaradim, or the opposite, can certainly feel comfortable that they have fulfilled their obligation to daven, right? But that doesn't mean that they should change their own minhag. He says, however, things are mentioned in the Gemara, but the way we daven, for example, the Gemara said that you say Havdalah in Ata Chonen L'Adam Da, so of course no one has any right to change that. That's universally true and accepted, whether it's Ashkenaz or Sfarad. A further point, you know that in Yerushalayim there is an institution called Shtiblach. Shtiblach means that there's a shul, but the shul doesn't have a permanent nusach. But everybody who davens in the shul, everybody who comes into the shul and leads the services, can lead in any nusach that he's used to davening. So if somebody davens Ashkenaz, he'll lead the services Ashkenaz. Somebody davens Sefard, he'll lead the services in Sefard. But that's only in the Shtiblach. Any other kind of shul generally has a fixed nusach, and that fixed nusach is variable, cannot be changed. So if I go to a shul, I'm used to davening nusach Ashkenaz, and the shul they daven nusach Sefard. So then, if I say Shemona Esrei to myself, quietly, I can daven in the nusach that I'm used to davening. But when I say the Shemona Esrei out loud, Chazarat Tzibur, then I'm obligated to say the Shemona Esrei the way that Tzibur is used to saying the Shemona Esrei. And in many shuls you find that on the lectern, the Chazan's lectern, there is a note that says in this shul, always daven, and then the nusach is clearly stated. When such a case is one that you're involved with, you have to accept the dictates of the shul. And you can't say, well, I generally daven some other way or some other nusach. So on the one hand, all the nuscha'ot are acceptable. That's what the Arizal quoted when he said there were 12 tribes and 12 gates, and everybody had his own way of davening, and that's how it should be. On the other hand, you have a commitment to maintain the nusach that you were brought up with, that your father taught you, that your mother taught you. That's something that you have to maintain. That's the other hand. Of course, if you go into a shul which is called shtiblach, then you daven whatever nusach you're used to davening. On the other hand, if you go into a shul where there is a accepted nusach and you want to be the shaliach tzibur, then you have to accept the nusach of the shul in order to be shaliach tzibur.